Muslim and voting, read this before you vote. Stick to the principles, taqwa and ikhlas. It's a big trust and amana. Don't take it lightly, it's a huge responsibility. Choose the best candidate, not on reason. Stay politically aware, don't follow blindly. Scrutinize the manifestos, know what they stand for. Ask the right people and seek advice. Think holistically and rationally. Make dua to Allah for guidance.
Okay, my friends, a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you who are locked on, those of you who are at your homes, those of you who are at your workplaces, those of you who are facilitating and fulfilling the requirements of your country. Maybe you are a police officer, maybe you are a person who are in maybe hospital, medical, fraternity, maybe security, whatever you may be in. We would like to welcome you to our program. We would like to thank you for your services that you are rendering for us. I know for a fact that this is a festive season. This is the Easter weekend, and many people, my friends, again, many persons would be at the beaches. Those persons would have been in different places, and they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, myself and my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldeo, we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, and that is sharing information to you, so that we can make our lives better, we can make our lives safer, and again, my friends, we can be able to mobilize and do things that is most relevant to country building. And that's the objective of our program, Hard Facts. We are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, identifying the challenges, the anomalies, and those things that really and truly affect the sanity of a country, of a people, of a nation. And we are here to really and truly identify with you. And we ask you all, we urge you all, we plead, we ask you all kindly, those of you who are watching our program, feel free to call us 372-2129. That is the number that you can reach us on live Hard Facts program on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. Again, there are so many things that we want to say. Again, time is very much an essence for us here today. We have a lot of things. We have myself and Prem, we have committed ourselves to be at a venue at 1 p.m. today. So again, we are going to go straight to the point in our program here today, and we ask you all to join with us. Please share this video that other people might know, and they would understand that there is a voice in the wilderness, really and truly for you, the citizenry of this country. So welcome to our program again, and thank you for all your the sponsorship that you have been giving us, in the sense that not monetary, but you have been calling us and you have been advising us and you have been really and truly lifting our morals and our spirits. So we thank you for that. Prem?
So thank you very much, our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. My friends, good afternoon, namaste, and a most cordial welcome. Assalamu alaikum to all our viewers on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. You are viewing the program Hard Facts. As the Imam in his introduction said, it is a program that is designed to bring to the masses in Trinidad and Tobago, our neighboring countries and the world at large, real hard facts, events and situations that is happening in our beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, my friends, we are live here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from approximately 12:15 p.m. Today we started 12 because the Imam and we have a very important function to attend, and we will be locking up Imam around 12:45 today, right?
Yeah, 12:45.
Yeah. So again, you can catch us live on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Facebook. So, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago is on high alert where election is concerned. Don't get scared. We are in election mode. Election campaign has heightened in Trinidad and Tobago. And you know something, Imam? The crowds, those that are attending these meetings here, there, and everywhere, you know, it is indicative of the support that each party is getting. But however, there are thousands and thousands of undecided voters who have not yet made up their minds for what party or what individual or candidate they would be casting their vote for. And that is a very important issue because, Imam, they are what we call the deciding voters of victory or defeat. So in the marginal seats, that is where, that is where they are most important. Because a place like Shogunas West, it is a diehard, it is a tribalistic seat, that has been governed by the United National Congress over the years from time immemorial. But the marginal seats where the UNC can make some inroads for victory, or where the PNM can make some inroads in the UNC, the marginal seats for victory also, these are in this time the most important constituencies to be paying attention to. Now, my friends, as all this is happening, our country seems to be on autopilot, Imam. Nobody is complaining about food prices. Nobody is complaining about, about being scared to walk the streets anymore. Nobody is complaining about gas prices. And, just 2-3 days ago in our international airport, Imam, there was a stakeholder, there was a murder, there was a shootout right there. What is really happening in our country? The armed forces are in control. We hope and we trust. Then we see right here in Barakpur, a 15-year-old child, young Malini Prasad, who was, is deemed to be autistic. She was lured away from her home and, was raped. And we don't want to get into, it will hurt the parents and the family. But then again, my friends, there are monsters, there are demons in human form that is plaguing our land and walking our streets. We trust and we pray. Imam is a man of God. I am also in the Hindu faith. And we really appeal, to the Supreme Being and to our people of Trinidad and Tobago, be sober-minded, exercise human qualities towards our human brothers and sisters as we go into an election.
Okay, so thank you again. That is the introduction of our program itinerary this afternoon on Hard Facts. Again, those of you who are watching us on Sentinel Media, we are live on TikTok. As you can see, those of you who are joining our program, feel free to text your messages. Let us know what is taking place in your neck of the woods. And again, Prem have mentioned certain things. And just last week, my friends, we discussed this very said thing. We said to parents outside there who have to go and work, we said to you all that there are miscreants in our society. There are pedophiles. There are people who really and truly, they stalk you. You might know this. It could be your own friends. It could be your own family. It could be people who knows your whereabouts. That individual who got assassinated and executed at the airport, people didn't come by guess. They were fed information. That child who went outside there and maybe was whatever. We don't even want to say it live here. It's sad. It is sad, right? We want to say this to you all, that it has to be people who knows the whereabouts of family members. Maybe they have entered the home of that person and they have, they have concealed themselves as somebody that is trustworthy. Yeah. And again, my friends, they look upon those people, their love and their kindness, and then they pounce and they devastate the family for life. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, today we're going to talk about issues that is really and truly important. Right? Because Pierre mentioned something here, and I just beg to differ slightly on it, that there are many persons who have in large crowds. Now the election fever is like that. This is a build-up. You're going to realize that people, when they near to the finish line, you go to a racetrack, you're going to see people jumping up their seat. When you go to a sporting event, they will jump off their seat and they will try to see how best they could show jubilance, and they will show the full support to whatever, whether it be a horse, whether it be a dog, whether it be a man, whatever. So my friends, that crowd thing that Prem spoke about, it is good. It clearly indicates that something is happening in the country. But as I said before in our Wednesday program, I said, you see that first-time voter? You see that second-time voter? You see that under 40 voter Trinidad and Tobago, you all will make the difference. You are really and truly the ones who can really and truly cause this election to have a difference when it comes to the results on the 29th. We want you all to know that. So don't ever feel, and let me tell you something. You see those persons, Prem, those persons who are at home and sick, and those persons who say that, I'm fed up voting and I'm not going to vote because it's the same old promises. I would like to urge you all. I would like you all to be, be more progressive, be more patriotic in the sense that go out and vote. Whether you want to vote the UNC, go right ahead. You want to vote the PNM, go right ahead. We don't have a problem with that. But don't tell me and call me and say, I don't see the need. Because people are telling me that we already win. Yes, we already win in Chaguanas West. But will that give you victory in the general election? Think about it. So those of you, my friends, who are condoning that type of behavior, I would like them to rethink and come outside there and do the right thing for the right reason.
You know something, Imam, from what you just said there, you know, and I have experienced that with people also. In every constituency in Trinidad, what my vote could do, it can make a difference. Where I going, and you know, I am over the hills, I am nearing the end of my days on planet Earth, that kind of thing. But I'll tell you something. If you do not exercise your one right, your one legitimate right, which is to vote, then for the next 5 years, whatever be, that's it. Whatever be the outcome of the election, you have lost the right to speak on anything in this country. Because where politics and governance are concerned.
Yeah, shut your mouth. That's it. Shut your mouth. Don't come outside and say, you know, PNM this and UNC this. Shut your mouth.
Because you had a chance to make,
not only that, I want to make a clarion call here. I want to make a clarion call. You see people who coming outside there, and you know, they're emphasizing, and they, you know, they're dictating your pace and telling you who to vote for. We're not going to do that. We have done that in the past. We learn from our mistakes, and we're not going to do that again. And you all have to think in a very set context. When you look at chalk and cheese, there's a difference. Chalk and cheese, there's a difference. Firstly, my friends, when you are selecting your candidate, you know what you have to do? You have to look for a candidate, a person with what? A person with integrity, a person with vision, a person who is trustworthy, a person who could communicate, a person who could really and truly, you know, be that person that you want them to be. Not a person you're seeing them today and then you're not seeing. You know, director, there was a question that was posed to us, and we said that we're going to ask that question outside there. Beam it up on the screen, please. Thank you. Right, Prim, go ahead.
Okay, Trinidad and Tobago election fever. Answer me this. Do you know your candidates? Have you seen your candidates? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Have you ever had an interaction with your candidates? If yes or no, give us a call and let us know. And Imam, that is three pertinent questions. Important
question. We have been saying that over and over.
Do you know him? Have you seen him? Have you had any interaction with him? And you are going to place his finger against his name for him.
And again, you all, Trinidad and Tobago, for the longest while, those of you who are in the safe seat, the 18 safe seat, and the 19 safe seat on the PNM bench, for too long you have been saying this. I tell you something, you have been, you know, castigating, and you know, been saying things. I tell you something, if a man, right, I'll just give you an example. There's so much media blitz that is taking place, and it seems as though nothing is positive. Nobody coming out there and identifying, well, here what, Kamla Prasad-Bissessar is this, and Stuart Young is this. You know, nobody, I personally would like to see a debate being done in open air, in some forum, where Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, just like what you would see in America, Donald Trump and whoever was the candidate. We should have that here. If Kamla Prasad-Bissessar cannot stand up for a long duration, maybe both parties could sit. Both parties could sit on a high stool, and maybe they could have some sort of a desk or something there. And again, my friends, we have to ask questions, and maybe questions could be coming out of a barrage of questions, maybe 10, 15 questions each, and see how they're going to answer it. Questions like this: what is it that they're going to do for crime? What is it that they're going to do for the economy? What is it going to do for health? These are basic pertinent questions that the lay person, the person who cleaning your drain, the person who carrying out your garbage, the person who doing things for you, they are going to ask those questions. Prim.
Okay, another text message here. Good day, UNC and PNM voters. Please know, after election, we have to go back working together, intermingling together. So stop the hate. Let's vote for the best candidate. And that is a very, very good message here. You know, and as that message came on the screen here, you know, last week on our program, the Imam and I dealt with, you know, the hate that was spewed against Dr. Rai Ragbir. And there we see again, Imam, the former Attorney General. Now, an Attorney General is the third highest office in the land. The first highest office is the President, then the Prime Minister, and then the Attorney General. The Attorney General and the Prime Minister has the power, the sole authority and power to form a cabinet for a government. But there we see Attorney General John Jeremy, former Attorney General John Jeremy, who was Attorney General under the People's National Movement, having, appeared on a UNC platform, he was called all sorts of derogatory names also, as dog and hungry and starving and thing. People stopped, the caller, the texter just texted him and stop the hate.
And not only that, Prem, I'll tell you something. When we look at the candidates, when we look at, let me just take an example from the PNM. Look at the PNM, the slates of the PNM candidates. And you're going to realize no candidate on that slate ever attacked Dr. Keith Rowley. Or no candidate ever attacked Stuart Young as the Prime Minister. Right? When you look at the UNC state, you are seeing Philip Alexander. When I look at that, all right, you know something? People are pulling away. If you don't understand the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, you are losing votes by having these people at your side, at the helm of leadership. You are holding these people at high positions. People like that, we myself, Prem, we look towards you as something, as a beacon of hope in the past. But when we see what you are doing, you are bringing people who attack your integrity. We've seen people who attack the diaspora of the East Indian community by dragging mannequin and all these things. We saw that. And here it is, you embracing them.
Supporters are not going to forget that,
And then again, last week, one of the biggest mistakes that the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa made when she said that she has purged the party of the religious aspects of it. And that closely indicates that people, the caste system, Islam doesn't have any caste.
Imam,
Islam don't have any caste.
A question was asked, when we closed studio here Wednesday gone, a call came in, the director gave us the call, off air that was. And the caller said, was when Mrs. Prasad Bisesa spoke about purging the UNC of caste and religion and that sort of thing, was she referring to an incident when she was removed as Attorney General under the Basil Pandey government and replaced by Lawrence Maraj?
No, tell us something.
So then that is, you are harboring hate.
When you do a forensic on that statement, Trinidad and Tobago, we're not stupid. We mightn't have the kind of BS and whatever you all have, right? But I tell you something. In Islam, there's no caste system. Every creed, every race have an equal place. But when you use the term caste, basically you are directing it to your own self. Maybe if you are Hindu, you are that to the Hindu diaspora in Trinidad and Tobago, and even so much so in other parts of the world, America, Florida, anywhere that the East Indian Hindu base is, you are telling them that this UNC have purged you all. We don't want you here. That is exactly, she have to retract that statement immediately.
That is a very damaging
damaging statement. Because I have been listening, I'll tell you something, only those people who really and truly eat our food people, they would not take that, there are people who are not taking that lightly. They are not taking that lightly, and they are mobilizing, and they are telling their people that, here what, if the United National Congress have purged out of the caste system.
We have no place there.
Yeah, you don't have place.
Belong.
You don't, yes. Basically, that is what is happening. So Trinidad and Tobago, this program Hard Facts, you could say what you want. Because there are people outside there who are putting a sign underneath their logos and saying, paid political announcement. Paid political announcement. And we know there is no paid political announcement. You are waiting for the booties of this country after election to be handed to you. Your gifts will be handed to you after. You are fighting the war just like anybody else. We are fighting for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We are standing here. We are coming here week after week. You recap every one of these programs. And see if we were not bashing the PNM, and we were not bashing the UNC, and we were doing that, we were bashing all these people. Why? To bring some awareness, so that when this day comes, Trinidad and Tobago, the right candidate will be selected for the position of being a member of parliament or a minister in government.
Take this country forward to
that is what we were doing. We were doing that, and we're going to continue doing this now and after. As long as we have health and strength in our bodies, we are going to do that very same thing. So my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, you all, those of you who are listening, this program here, Hard Facts, is your program. You call us 372-2129. We're not liking what we are seeing. And I tell you something, a lot of people today, when it comes to social media, they are highlighting the party that they love, the party that they want to win. They are highlighting the negativity.
Some of them are paid bloggers.
Yes, we've seen that.
So let us take a break, Dave.
Let's take a break.
We're almost halfway through the program.
Muslim and voting, read this before you vote. Stick to the principles, taqwa and ikhlas. It's a big trust and amana. Don't take it lightly, it's a huge responsibility. Choose the best candidate, not on rees. Stay politically aware, don't follow blindly. Scrutinize the manifestos, know what they stand for. Ask the right people and seek advice. Think holistically and rationally. Make dua to Allah for guidance.
So, my friends, welcome back to our program Hard Facts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. With me in studio is the CEO and the manager, owner of this station, our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. Very, very outspoken, you know, very, very voice-for-us and vociferous also. Our Imam is the head of the Felicity Masjid, you know, where people from different faiths will go there and they will worship. I have been to the masjid many, many times, you know. Our Imam is also the chairman or the president of the IFST, which is the Islamic Funeral Services Trust, also based in Felicity, you know, and that's a big, huge organization, my friend. Presently, our Imam, being the head of this organization, they are into, you know, into bringing to fruition or to completion a home for battered women, a home for drug abusers, and a home for the aged, I think it is.
Age
and that
infirm.
is a non-governmental project. The people of the Islamic community, my friends, they are, you know, they are pouring in their funding and their ideas, and they are doing it on their own. So we wish them well with that. Now, Imam, the big issue presently, you know, in Trinidad and Tobago, when election time comes, I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, crime has taken a backseat. Nobody talking about pothole and this and that. And the main issue here today is property tax, Imam. Am I right? Property tax and who we're going to put into government. Now, we, you know, the People's National Movement, you know, they did the valuation and whatnot, and people began paying their property taxes, right? Hold up there, full stop. Let's put a red tag on that. In 2010 to 2015, when the United National Congress was in government, listen to this. Can you remember who was the finance minister at that time? No, let me give you the answer. The Honorable Larry Hawaii. Mrs. Prasad Bisesa was the prime minister at the time. And I recall clearly, I have a video here of what happened. Our system is fully loaded. The directors had to spend a whole day deleting all those things to make some space for new, you know, new videos, right? Larry Hawaii said that the United National Congress is going to reintroduce property tax in 2014, coming to 2017. He said, properties will be valued and consultations to be held with all stakeholders. Phase 1, effective immediately, commercial valuation of all properties, industrial land, including plant and machinery, whether outdoor or in-house, as well as imposed taxes on commercial properties, and in phase 3, imposed taxes on agricultural lands and residential properties. The Finance Minister, Larry Hawaii, said, we are well within the threshold of property tax introduction. Now, my friends, I'm not bashing the UNC. This is hard facts. This program, anytime, Imam, you don't want me in this program, you tell Prem. Say, Prem, here what? I find you're attacking the UNC. I will take off. Hey, and you see this jacket I went today? I want to say, hats off to Kelly's Tailoring, situated next to Bagwan Singh's and Shogwanas. I ordered this jacket. He took my measurement. Imam, don't watch my jacket, so. And when I go to pay him, he says, Prem, that is on the house for Sentinel Media Hard Facts, right? So property tax was there, right? Had the UNC remained in government beyond 2015, because they were tagging 2017, it would have been introduced. At what range and what rate, I cannot say. So friends, we are just bringing the information out to you. Remember, I started by saying the PNM has already evaluated people's property and people have paid.
Okay, so thank you very much, Prem. And I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, right? In 2010, I started a group. This is 2010, 2015. And 2015, the United National Congress, they came into government, and they came in with the tax. And that really and truly propelled them, and they got the votes the votes of the citizenry of this country. And what you are saying, Prem, what you are saying here, and that is hard facts, that is on, and we have it on record.
On record.
Where Minister of Finance, Larry...
it was extracted from the parliamentary debate in Parliament, and I have it here.
They were planning to bring back...
Reintroduce,
yes. And you know something? Again, Trinidad and Tobago, you have to be very, very smart, you have to be cunning, you have to be sly just like them. Because politicians today in our country, if they don't have certain credentials, I tell you something, you put a, you know normally, right? I tell you something, you know there's a correction and there's an X, right? You know something? In this case, you put an X.
That's why I tell you in last program, you vexed with me.
No.
I tell you, I don't have the qualification to be a politician.
No,
because I am an honest individual. That is not
you're not understanding what I'm saying. I mentioned something here that I don't think nobody ever dissect that. In politics, the only time a negative is a positive. Right, let me just say something. If you are a teacher and something is right, what do you do?
You correct it, of
so,
course.
And if it's wrong?
Exit in red.
Right, but this time around in politics, you put in an X.
Oh yeah, boy.
You understand? So this is something
that... So we don't know why we put in the X and why we put in the X. So the director run back the questions. Run back the questions in the beginning.
So Trinidad and Tobago, very important
run back
here.
The questions.
Very, very important. And those of you who are like...
You're correct, boy. Trinidad and Tobago, election fever, answer me this. Do you know your candidates? Have you seen your candidates? Like question number 2. Have you ever had an interaction with your candidates? If yes or no, give whatever.
And I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, let us be real. Let us be real. And this may be happening in both sides of the fence. But I'll tell you something. When you look at the safe seats in both sectors of the country, in politics, you're going to realize, right, that for you to get a safe seat, there has to be something going with you and the leadership of the party. Otherwise, you would never get a safe seat. So when you have people come in here and they have been selected and not elected, you're not going to get no representation. Take that from Imam Rashid Karim, smoke it in your pipe. Anytime a candidate is selected, not elected, selected by the leadership of the party, and in some case, the leader of the party, bet your last dollar, which I don't gamble, but bet your last dollar that you're not going to get no proper representation. Because here what? If he make 1,001 mistake, he's going to be accepted, because if he fails, the leader fails. So understand what I'm saying here. There's a psychology, there's philosophy in politics. And we ask you all, those of you who are there outside, those of you, I mean, a lot of people gone to the beach. We ask you all, those of you who are at the beaches and all those things, and maybe you are drinking your alcohol. You know for a fact, right, and we want to bring it back hard facts here, that during this period of time, when people returning back home from the beaches, intoxicated, a lot of accidents happen. So I want to tell you all, watch people who are drinking. If they are driving, do not give them the steering. Let somebody else who is sober-minded people take the wheels. Right? That is something that I'm urging you all, because for every Easter, this period of time, you're going to realize that people who are driving, most likely they will be intoxicated, they'll be fatigued, spending 3-4 days dancing, partying, and what have you. And when they come in, either they sleep behind the steering, or either they are uncontrolled simply because maybe they're seeing the road wide as from here to Tobago, and they just drive mad on the roadway.
So there's an increase in road rage, there's an increase in road accidents and road fatalities also. Now, Imam, DUI, driving under the influence, my friends. If you are charged and you are above the limit and whatnot, you will be taken into custody. And if you want to come out, you have to get to a JP. You got to pay around $2,000, $2,500 to get that bail, and then you have to attend court to pay probably another fine, and the demerit system is going to come into effect. So the safest thing to do is to stay away from alcohol, and if you are participating in alcoholic beverages, have a designated driver. Now, Imam, coming back to the politics of the day. In each political party, it's just like in every household. You know, my grandmother used to say, Imam, that when you're washing wares in the sink, now in the old time Indian way, they used to say burtan. Burtan means dirty wares.
Burtan,
right?
Yes.
When these wares, they make noise when you're washing them.
But they
don't have mouth.
Yeah.
And they make noise. Your margin burtan, right? So And we humans in a household, in a country, in a party, we have mouth, we have an intellect, we have an ego. When our ego is trespassed upon, we retaliate.
You know something,
right?
as we talk about this, right? A man called me on my phone, and he say, Imam, like you're going full-fledged PNM. That what the man tell me. So I asked him, director, you have the video? You have the video that was done for one of the media houses. Get ready for my place. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to understand.
So why the man ask you that? Oh, why tell you that?
No, he feel that this program here, we hitting too hard to one side of the fence. But that is not so. That is not so. We are here identify. We ask you all, those of you who are locked on 372-2129, call us. Let us know. Where is he? The first week, during the course of the week, right? Before we take the break, we'll put it up. We call on the United National Congress to send their candidates. We call on the PNM to send their candidates. We call on Patriot. We call all, and you know, majority of those people, they made appointment to come in studio. And I tell you something, all of them, all of those people, they never showed up. And imagine you cannot show up for maybe a simple appointment like this to identify with your people, your cadastral, your constituency. You can't do that. Just imagine if you are the member of parliament or you are a minister in government, how far away you would be from the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I want you all, for the guy who called me and said, hey, Imam, you're going full-fledged PNM, I want you to watch this video. Let's take a break, director. Run that video. Okay, thank you for those questions. The first question that you asked is, what advice would I give to the new voters? My advice to the new voters is very, very simple. What you need to do is think wisely. Know for a fact who you're voting for. The people who you are voting for should be people of morality, people of spirituality, people of good standing, people of vision. Very, very important, because a lot of people going up there, and you know what? You are seeing this on a daily basis. They are going to serve party. You're not supposed to be doing that. Do not vote for people who vote in party. Party is okay, but you have to be really and truly voting for the country. Country needs to be saved, not party. Right? That's number one. Again, the young voters in our country is very, very important, because I tell you something, the first-time voters and the under 40 voters is really and truly the decision makers. Those people who have crossed that borderline of 40, they have already made up their mind who they're voting for. Right? So those of you who are going to vote, those of you who are new voters, select candidate who will represent you, who would have a vision like yours, a people who would serve the people and not want the people to serve them. And secondly, candidates. I've been seeing a lot of candidates, and not because of friends and family, you feel that, you know, you are an individual who's supposed to be given that position. A candidate has the responsibility of really and truly elevating the community that he's serving. And for the longest while, we are not seeing that. So again, choose candidates who have morality, integrity, who have wisdom, who have vision, and who can be able to really and truly intertwine with the community. And lastly, this is my personal thing here, is that the Islamic community in Trinidad and Tobago has been taken for a ride. When we look at the representation, either little or none, and that has to stop. So those of you who really and truly look on and be sincere with yourself. The Islamic community in Trinidad and Tobago is not being properly represented simply because the candidates that have been selected doesn't represent the vision for the Islamic community. Thank you.
So we are back, friends. We are back with our program, Hard Facts, on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. My friends, and in this program, this is what we call an unedited program. We try our best not to take sides in dispensing information, because we got to be neutral, Imam. We are dealing with 1-point-something billion million people in Trinidad and Tobago. All right. Now, people, they are on the live there. They are texting and telling the Imam that the code is yellow. Yes,
and also we are seeing people saying red and ready too. So basically, red and ready.
We are giving you the information. You got to decide. Don't let anybody brainwash you. You have an intellect. All right, and you know you have the will to decide on your own.
Look, let me just give you an example. I'll just interject another. Yeah. Look, the next one there, the next TikTok that is live there. Yeah. See what it's saying? Stuart Young, right, is not to be blamed for his stepdaughter faults. That is not his fault.
They're
bringing up that too. So again, this is the forum for you all.
Yes.
Code is red. Watch.
Red. Yes. So again, as I was saying, right, we are just unfolding the hidden facts. That is all we are doing here. Because when election day comes, The Imam does not know who I'm going to vote for.
No.
I don't know who he's going to vote for. I could very well vote for the Patriotic Front or the NTA. Or I could cast, according to a friend of mine, you know what he tell me? He said, Prem, and yesterday I attended a function. He said, Prem, I love 5 parties. And I'm going to put my ex by the 5 thing day. I said, well, that's a good decision.
When you meet that fella, right?
That's a good decision.
Tell him, come in the studio, I want to give some clout. I tell him I want to give him some
I
clout.
tell him that's a good decision. You
Yeah,
go right ahead,
yeah.
brother. You understand? So, my friends, again, as we say, we are just disseminating the information to you. The choice is yours. I believe Trinidad and Tobago, you know, we have come a long way. We have matured as a nation, Imam. And nobody can really sway anybody. You just need the facts to make an informed decision.
No,
Imam.
I'll tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago, right? Listen carefully. This is what we are saying to you. And we have been on the ground. I have been in Tunapuna. I have been in La Hoqueta. I have been in Toruba. I have been in Mayaro. And you would realize certain areas, La Hoqueta and all these places, there's about 5 or 6 places that really and truly needs the attention. When it comes to Shogunas West, Shogunas East needs some attention in the sense that, here what? Things could happen there. You know, something we have a dissect. You see, from next week program, we're going to identify where the sway is taking place, right? And I'll tell you something, we are seeing this, we have been seeing this. There's a lot of media blitz going on in social media, and negative and positive against 2 parties and so forth. I'll tell you something, when you look at it, basically, for the last election, I was mandated to work the 5 marginal seat. And I did it. And I know the pulse of the people. And those very said marginal seat went to the PNM. Matters not, the United National Congress made a lot of headways. They did lots and lots of work, but it went back to the PNM. Why? Why, my friends? And that is the question that you have to ask. Is it that your candidates that you have put up, right, has not really and truly create that dimension that people would like to really and truly gravitate to? That is the point you have to understand. Your candidates.
Look at this piece of information just coming to the studio.
Yeah. So those of you who are locked on Trinidad and Tobago, we are going to move around this station, Sentinel Media Broadcasting. And those of you who are in the UNC, the yellow, and who are in the red, and you would like to talk to us and you would like to identify, we don't want no obscenity, we don't want no aggression, we don't want no tainting of character of any individual. Because I tell you something, we don't have the best character too. You might be watching, you might be watching the toothpick in a man's eye, and then you have a log in your own eye and you can't see it. So we are not going to do that. We want to hear facts. We want to hear, you all are saying that the PNM did not do anything. I have been hearing that, and I was saying that too. I was saying that in the last election, hey, PNM never do nothing for me.
You want to know something? There is no media platform that bash the People's National Movement like Sentinel Media.
Yes.
It's 2 years now we're doing that. And we will continue to do it if they fail.
And the thing about it, Prem, you know something? They were not failing us because we had a toothpick in our eyes. No, we had a log in our eyes. We were not looking. We were not seeing what they were doing. Because when you look at Bridal Road Bridge, it take a little long, yes, but it was completed.
But Imam, you know, that texter who texted us, right, said that the PNM was doing nothing for the last 9-10 years. Okay, that's your view. That's many people's view. But, the flip side of that question, Imam, what was the United National Congress doing for the last 9 years?
And not only the national...
As a legitimate, opposition. They are representing 19 electoral districts on behalf of 340,000 electorate.
And the hard part about it, right? People are clamoring for service. They were clamoring for utilities. They were clamoring for infrastructure. And we saw this, that monies were returned back to the central government by certain UNC constituencies and boroughs. People who were aligned to certain boroughs, money went back. They take so long when the last fiscal, when they cannot spend it anymore, they had to send it back, my friends.
Imam, I have some information that I get some information from a top-ranking borough.
All right, so what we will do, we will hold back that because we don't want that to be used as any leverage here. But if push comes to shove and we have to identify, we're going to identify the different cadastrals. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are here live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Now, Moruga Tableland, when you look at the results from the last election, there was only about 1,000 and something votes. And the Islamic community in Moruga Tableland played an integral, important role. I want to talk about that, right? And I tell you something, Princess Tong, knowing for a fact, on this program, in this very said program, we lamented and we said in the Princess Tong area should have an Islamic person, a Muslim person to represent, knowing that there's about 9 or 10 masajid and there are plenty Muslims in that area. Only now, in this election, they adhered and they listened. Because when you look at it, when you look at Baksh, when you look at Riaz, when you look at all these, you're going to realize there were Muslim elements there. But when you have the ear of the leader, you can go wherever you want, whenever you want, and do whatever you want. So Trinidad and Tobago, the people are listening to this program. There's a Muslim girl there, doctor there, Dr. Ali, and she's going to take home the seat. No two ways about it. Right? That seat is just like Shogunas West. We don't have a problem there, and I think that is a safe seat, one of the 18 seats that we have been speaking about. But the election, my friends, and I tell you something, the PNM is making headway. The PNM is making headway upon headway upon headway simply because of, you know what? Because of the failure of selecting the correct person to represent the communities.
On behalf of the
You choosing people, right? Yes. You're talking about Stuart Young. You're all talking about Stuart Young and his stepdaughter. Let me be real here today. Let me be real here, because a lot of people texting. Look at the kind of text there, and they're showing up the picture with the woman and so forth. That is not my business. But the problem here is that if you, as an individual, let me look at the Shogunas West guy, the Rasta guy, the guy Ali Bokas. Ali Bokas, they put out a big video stating that his brother is this, that, the next. Now, if people really and truly honest to themselves, what the brother action has to do with his action?
Absolutely nothing. That
is irrelevant. But again, you have to know exactly what is happening. When you look at Stuart Young, right? Stuart Young marry a woman. She have a child. Yes, she have a daughter, whatever. Stuart Young can't go in the child mind and know what they're doing. That is not his business. So again, my friends, don't even entertain that. Don't even bring up that. Because I tell you something, the very sad thing could be... I was in a situation like that a couple of years back, right? When an individual was not given the opportunity, in a screening. Because why? Because her brother was involved in some sort of nefarious activities, and the girl went downstairs and cry. And I went downstairs and I tried to pacify her and I say, relax yourself, don't worry. That is a normal thing. When you come in politics, people is lick you down, and that is what we're seeing here today. So Trinidad and Tobago, this season that we are going through, they're going to pull all kind of files. They're going to make up things, they're going to lie, they're going to say anything. But the facts is the facts. I have told you all, right, that any government any government rebel that property tax, I am going to vote for them. But then again, when we analyze and we saw that the United National Congress, they came into government, riding that camel, the camel of axe the tax. And in 2014, they changed, like a banana, right? They changed. And then you know something? When the PNM implemented that tax, myself, and all of us, we rebel against this, and I started that group, RAPT, Resistance Against the Property Tax, and we mobilized people from all walks of life, and we did a lot of struggle. You understand? And the property tax was frayed a bit there, and relax a little bit. But the point I am making here, my friends, you and I today, we can't really and truly believe what these politicians are saying. In many cases, look at their track record. What have they done in the past, and what are they going to do in the future? That is very important. And this was my bargaining chip, that I was saying that whoever removed that and make the lives of our senior citizens and our elderly in our country, peaceful and calm in their last dying throes, in their last 15 or 10 years, make it be comfortable for them. My friends, that was not going to happen. So again, my friends, you know and I know what is going to happen on the 29th of this month. You will have the opportunity to either be part of it, or just stay quiet for the next 5 years. Right?
Imam, a text message came in here. It's very, very vital information. I am not too sure if I should really read this out. But let me try it, Imam. Okay?
The best caller saying we get paid out. A caller just saying this. A texter saying that.
I'm a pensioner. I get paid.
Pensioner.
Good pay.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to this. Biggest leak ever. UNC emergency. Now, this is what Imam was saying. The United National Congress needs to get serious and needs to. I'm not going to read that.
That could be fabricated.
needs to be really focused and really work hard to bring home seats like San Fernando West, Maruga Tableland, Salmi Grande, and you know, it's there for you. You need to know what you are doing. You have to apply, you know, native sense, so to speak. So to speak.
There are people who, as you used the term last week, I think in the last show, that there are people who still wearing political pampers.
Yes.
And you know something? And they want to take leadership of the party. They want to take leadership of the country. They want to be the next prime minister of this country.
It don't work so.
My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be real. We have to try to understand this, right? Let me just give you an example before we close the show. Let me just tell you something. We all traveling in a boat. We all traveling in a ship. There's an upper deck and a lower deck. There's an upper deck and a lower deck. And my friends, the upper deck have water. The upper deck have water. And you know something? You don't give the people of the lower deck water. You know what is going to happen? A wise man down there going to say, we traveling on water. All we have to do is punch a hole here and we get sufficient water. Now, if you and I, we allow them to punch that hole in the bottom of that boat, what is going to happen? So that is what is happening. Today we lamenting, we quarreling, and we saying this and we saying that. We have to look at the economical viability of the world scenario. We can't only say Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. We are governed because, let me tell you something, the President of America, he's raising tariff. He's raising tariffs all around the world. And basically, some people will say China, China, China. We get in everything from China. All we have in Trinidad is air, water, and sunlight. What do we have other than that to really and truly make an impact? If something should happen adverse outside there, what is it we're going to do? Is the agriculture industry really and truly stabilized so much? I know for a fact that Felicity produces a lot of sweet potato. I could eat sweet potato alone.
Well, Imam, both sides of the political fence, right, is announcing that they are going to reopen the oil refinery. So in that sense, if it is true, right, because you got to be careful what you believe and how you believe it. If it is true, then we will be getting some foreign exchange in the near future, hopefully. Yeah. So what's the time, Dave?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Right.
You go ahead. I'm reading some text here.
You know, a text message also came in here that the UNC needs to work very, very hard and vigilant in Shogwanas East.
I want to just read this text here. I mean, it might be sounding positive for me, but positive for the show. But here what the guy is saying here. The guy is saying, sir, thank you for educating and pushing the message. I am a PNM, but honestly, I voted for Kamala in the 2010. So automatically, this guy already made up his mind. He know exactly who he's going to vote for this general election. You understand? So my friends, those of you who are locked on, those of you who are participating in our program, we thank you all very, very much. May God Almighty bless you all. Please, before we close our show here today, those of you who are heading to the beaches, those of you who are leaving your homes unattended, those of you who are leaving your children unattended, I tell you something, better you cancel. Better you cancel that beach. Better go and bathe with a paint pan of water home, or a bucket of water, or go and buy one of those blow-up pools and remain home, than to leave your children, your children unattended. Don't do that. Don't ever leave your children unattended, because my friends, there are people outside there who are waiting. They are watching. They are identifying with you. You might not see it, but there are people like that. They are monitoring you. This thing called phone. They will be calling their people, and they will be saying, here, what the vehicle pull out. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Watch your back. What is taking place in this country at this point in time? We blaming government. Yes, they have to take part of the blame. But again, when something happens in our home, we have to play our part also. We only can't say PNM this, PNM. We have to take the responsibility, because I tell you something, for the past 5 years, did we come out and protest? Did we do a large protest? Did we shut down the country? But you know something, PNM. For 10 years, another person saying Stuart Young is our OJT, and Stuart Young is our OJT. My friend Trinidad and Tobago, what did the United National Congress really and truly, did we mobilize? Did we mobilize the masses, right? You know something? When we had protests and all these things, basically what would happen is office staff, paid workers, and that would have been it. You have to be, you have to be feasible. Your thing have to be rational. Your thing had to hit the correct spot. Your thing had to hit the correct spot.
The trade union movement of Trinidad and Tobago, they held a rally in protest of something. I don't recall it exactly. Oh, when the Prime Minister took a 47% raise of pay, and the trade union were given only 4% of what. And we were there in front of the White House in the Savannah.
Yeah.
And I recall MP Dinesh Rambali was there. MP David Lee was there. I saw Gary Griffith and one or two others there. Today we are seeing those same trade unions, shoulder and shoulder with the United National Congress. But at that time, where were the other members of the United National Congress? Where were the other MPs and the mayors and that sort of thing? Why weren't they part of that protest to make it a real success?
Prem, you can't blame them.
I'm not blaming.
No, I will tell you the reason why.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Because I tell you something, in party politics, Trinidad and Tobago, listen carefully what you're voting for. In party politics, it has to go through a system.
A protocol.
A protocol. And if the protocol dictates that you keep yourself home, you remain home. You cannot do, when the person say, back, you back. When the person say jump, you jump. When the person say bullful, you say yes, when I will get milk. So my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, you and I today, you have to understand this clearly. Right? Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be really selective of our candidates. Know your candidates, because the very same thing is going to happen, what transpired again and again, and will happen continuously. You know something? If you continuously doing the same thing, over and over again, that is clearly a sign of madness, right? Insanity. Don't expect a different result doing the same thing. So this is why, something, Trinidad and Tobago, I call on you, those of you who are campaigning, try to respect the other candidates, right?
Show the love.
Not even show the love, just respect.
Because we have to live here again on the 29th after the election.
Just respect the people. The people leave their banner up. You know something? This morning, coming from the mosque, I tell myself, I say, well, why people putting up a banner of a candidate face? Why? You could tell me the reason for him? I am a forensic auditor.
Very unpopular?
No, he's unknown. You put up a banner. You put up a banner of an individual who is competing in a cadastral or a constituency, a big face, this is so-and-so, clearly indicates that this person is not a people's person.
Yes,
you don't need, if you are working with the people, you are part of the community, you don't need to identify, you don't need to really and truly come outside there and say, look, this is me. No, you don't have to do that. What you have to do, because you were doing that before, but many of the candidates are selected by leadership because of, because of the slant that they're going to take. They're going to support party. I tell you all something, support people. Yes, support the party, that is part of the machinery, but again, people come first, not party. Let's take a...
I think that's about
okay,
so today. We have to go.
I was going to ask Prem to take our final comments, give his final comments, but Trinidad and Tobago, we thank you all very much.
Let me just say this before the Imam closes the program. Imam we have a very important function to attend to. It's a high profile meeting, and we have to be there. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are nearing the date, which is the 28th, when we are going to make a decision that will affect our lives, be it for better or for worse, for another 5 years. Just pay attention. If your son is 19 years old, in next 5 years he'll be 24. If your child is 5 years old, in 5 years' time that shall be 10 years old. You may not be there to support and to give the financial support, the guidance and moral support. Hence the reason to make, informed decisions of how we want our country to be for the next 5 years. So again, be wise, make wise decisions. You know who you have to vote for. You do. Let your conscience be your guide.
We have plenty time for that. A texter is saying this here, right? Mrs. Pandey, I know she is new, but everyone deserves a chance. No problem. Yeah. Another person is saying country first, not party.
Correct.
And that is what we leave the program with here. Country first and not party. Yeah. I thank you. May God Almighty bless you all. Keep you all safe. And until Monday when we have our program. Holiday or no holiday, we're coming on board. All right? We don't take holidays because I tell you something, people like us, we are like doctors. We have patients who are sick. We need to attend to them. So Monday, we are going to do our program live, 12:15. Join us, my friends. Let us know what is taking place in your neck of the woods.